Today, we are going to discuss about virtual machines. In this session, we will discuss the below topics. What is a virtual machine? Virtual machine components. Benefits of virtual machines. Virtual machine encapsulation and file systems. Creating a new virtual machine using the vSphere web client and using the VMware host client. Welcome to Global Technology Options Knowledge Sharing Sessions. A virtual machine, VM, is a software representation of a physical computer and its components. The virtualization software converts the physical machine and its components into files. Virtual machine has three components. Guest operating system, VMware tools, virtual resources, such as CPU and memory, network adapters, disks and controllers, parallel and serial ports, etc. A virtual machine, VM, includes a set of specification and configuration files and is supported by the physical resources of a host. Every VM has virtual devices that provide the same functionality as physical hardware but are more portable, more secure, and easier to manage. VMs typically include an operating system, applications, VMware tools, and both virtual resources and hardware that you manage in much the same way as you manage a physical computer. VMware tools is a bundle of drivers. Using these drivers, the guest operating system can interact efficiently with the guest hardware. VMware tools adds extra functionality so that SE can better manage the VM's use of physical hardware. What are the benefits of using virtual machines? In a physical machine, the operating system, for example, Windows or Linux, is installed directly on the hardware. The operating system requires specific device drivers to support specific hardware. If the computer is upgraded with new hardware, new device drivers are required. If applications interface directly with hardware drivers, an upgrade to the hardware, drivers, or both can have significant repercussions if incompatibilities exist. Because of these potential repercussions, hands-on technical support personnel must test hardware upgrades against a wide variety of application suites and operating systems. Such testing costs time and money. Virtualization of these systems saves on such costs because VMs are 100% software. Multiple VMs are isolated from one another. You can have a database server and an email server running on the same physical computer. The isolation between the VMs means that software dependency conflicts are not a problem. Even users with system administrator privileges on a VM's guest operating system cannot breach this layer of isolation to access another VM. As a result of VM isolation, if a guest operating system running in a VM fails, other VMs on the same host are unaffected and continue to run. A guest operating system failure does not affect access and performance. Users can still access the other VMs. The operational VMs can access the resources that they need. The other VMs can still perform. With VMs, you can consolidate your physical servers and make more efficient use of your hardware. Because a VM is a set of files, features that are not available or not as efficient on physical architectures are available to you. For example, you can rapidly and consistently provision VMs. With VMs, you can use live migration, fault tolerance, high availability, and disaster recovery scenarios to increase uptime and reduce recovery time from failures. How encapsulate virtual machines? vSphere encapsulates each VM into a set of VM files.
VM files are stored in directories on the VMFS, NFS, vSAN, or vSphere Virtual Volumes data store.
vSphere encapsulates each VM into a few files or objects, making VMs easier to manage and migrate. The files and objects for each VM are stored in a separate folder on a data store. A VM includes a set of related files. A configuration file. This file includes all configuration details of the VM. The swap file is used to reclaim memory during periods of contention. The BIOS a file containing the VM's BIOS settings. A VM's current log file is .log, and a set of files used to archive old log entries like -1.log, -2.logs like this. The first virtual disk has files is vm_name.vmdk and vm_name-flat.vmdk. For example, if the VM called test has two virtual disks. This VM has the test.vmdk, test-flat.vmdk, test_1.vmdk, and test_1-flat.vmdk files. Disk descriptor file contents, virtual disk characteristics. It includes a pointer to the large data file and information of virtual disk drive sectors, heads, cylinders and disk adapter type, VM hardware version etc. Disk data file contents, virtual machine data. We can create VMs in several ways. We can use two interfaces to create new virtual machines, vSphere client and VMware host client. The optimal method for provisioning VMs for your environment depends on factors such as the size and type of your infrastructure, and also the goals that you want to achieve. Create a virtual machine using the vSphere web client. Let's join with the screencast. In the vSphere web client, you can use the new virtual machine wizard to create a VM. The new virtual machine wizard prompts you for standard information. You can specify the name of the virtual machine and also specify the folder in which to place the virtual machine. This interface can specify a host, a cluster, or a resource pool. The VM can access the resources like CPU, RAM, etc. Each data store might have a different size, speed, availability, and other properties. In this interface, specify the available data stores for the selected host, cluster, or resource pool. The selected data store used to store the VM's files. This interface can use to select compatibility for the virtual machine. The latest version has the best performance and the latest features. If your environment has different versions of ESXi hosts, need to select the compatible version based on ESXi in the environment. You can specify the guest operating system family and version to be installed into the virtual machine. VM configuration settings are based on prior choices that you made about the operating system. You can change the hardware settings as per your requirements. Now you can click Finish to start virtual machine creation. Install the guest operating system into the virtual machine. Installing a guest operating system in your VM is similar to installing it on a physical computer.
You can attach a CD, DVD, or ISO image containing the installation image to the virtual DVD drive.
To install the guest operating system, you can interact with the VM through the VM console. Create a virtual machine using the VMware host client. This is also similar to installing virtual machines using the vSphere web client. We can create a virtual machine using Open Virtualization Format, OVF, and using templates. We will discuss those topics in a separate session. Let's meet with another session next time. Watch, like, and subscribe to my channel and Facebook page for more exciting sessions.